Okay, let's get right into it. Today we're talking about something almost all of us do, but maybe not always that well, writing reviews. We're going to figure out how to write reviews that are actually helpful, the kind that make a real difference for travelers and for the businesses themselves.
Come on, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? You're trying to pick a hotel, maybe a restaurant, and you scroll down to the reviews looking for some wisdom, and what you find just leaves you with more questions than answers. It's so frustrating.
And here we have it, the perfect example. Hotel was okay. Okay, how? What does that even mean? Was the bed comfy? Were the people at the front desk nice? Was it clean? This review, it's a total dead end. It helps literally no one. But don't you worry, there's a much, much better way to do this.
And, getting this right actually matters way more than you might think. Your words, your review, they have some serious power, especially in tourism, where one person's experience can literally steer the decisions of thousands of other people. It's all about this idea called social proof. It's just human nature, right? We tend to trust what other people have experienced. So when we see detailed, thoughtful reviews, we feel so much more confident about our own choices. But a bunch of vague reviews, that just creates doubt. Your review is a direct line of trust to the next person.
So every time you see someone tapping away on their phone, leaving a review, remember they're actually doing two really important things at the same time. They're not just sharing an opinion, they're providing a seriously valuable service.
Yep, every truly great review has two jobs. First, it helps out other travelers, giving them the real stories so they can make a good decision. And second, it gives the business crucial feedback on what they're doing right and, well, what they could be doing better. It's a total win-win. So the big question is, how do we do it? How do we write a review that does both of those things? Well, it's actually way simpler than it sounds. It all boils down to a super clear three-part blueprint. And here it is, the introduction, the body, and the conclusion. Yeah, just like that essay structure we all learned back in school. This simple framework is what turns a useless comment into a genuinely valuable piece of advice. So let's break each part down. First up, the intro. You want to keep this short and sweet. Just say what service you used and give your overall vibe right at the start. Think of it as your hook. Something like, I just had dinner at the Green Leaf Bistro, and honestly, it was an absolutely delightful experience. Boom. Just like that, the reader knows where you were and that you had a good time. Okay, next up, and this is the most important part, is the body. This is where you tell the story. It's where you get into all those specific, juicy details that give your review all its power. This is the proof, the evidence that backs up your opinion. And finally, we have the conclusion. This is where you wrap it all up. You summarize the whole experience and give a really clear final recommendation. And clarity is key here. Would you tell a friend to go? Why or why not? This is that final takeaway that helps someone else make their choice. All right, so we've got our three-part structure down. Now let's really zoom in on the body of the review. Let's talk about the specific details you want to include to make it truly awesome. Think of this as your little checklist. How is the service quality? Were the staff friendly and helpful, or did they seem like they didn't want to be there? What about the location? Was it easy to find? What was the atmosphere like? Cleanliness, that's a big one, right? Was it spotless or not so much? And value for money. Did you feel like you got what you paid for? And hey, don't forget any additional features. Maybe the ambiance was amazing, or they had a really unique cocktail. Hitting these 5 points turns a simple review into an incredible guide. But here's the thing, having all the right information, that's only half the battle. The other half is all about choosing the right words to get your point across. The how is just as important as the what. Your choice of words makes a huge difference. On the positive side, strong words like outstanding, impressed, or exceeded my expectations really pack a punch. And for criticism, phrases like I was disappointed with or the cleanliness was lacking are super clear and helpful without just sounding angry. The right phrase says it all. And remember, constructive feedback isn't about just venting. It's about being specific. Instead of just saying it was bad, explain why it was disappointing. That's the kind of feedback that actually helps a business get better. I mean, this slide says it all, doesn't it? Just look at the difference. The room was nice. That tells me nothing. But the room was spotless and well-maintained with a breathtaking view of the ocean? Okay, now I have a picture in my head. I know what I'm getting. Same with the food. Food was bad is just useless. But explaining it was bland and had limited vegetarian options, now that is seriously helpful info, both for me and for the chef.
So let's pull all of this together and talk about the final impact. Because when you follow this blueprint, your little comment online suddenly becomes something with real power, with real world consequences. Now, that is a perfect conclusion. It sums up the feeling, wonderful. It gives a crystal clear recommendation, and it ends with that powerful statement, I will definitely return. There is zero confusion there. You know exactly how that person felt. So, from now on, I want you to think of your review as a short story. The introduction sets the scene, the body gives all the proof, and the conclusion delivers that final verdict. When you look at it that way, writing a review becomes this powerful, important act of communication. Seriously, every single review you write is an opportunity. It's a chance to help a business get better or to guide a total stranger toward the perfect vacation. You have the blueprint, you've got the tools, so the only question left is, what story is your next review going to tell?